That I already got a guy that does that.
Oh, okay. Well, you just got to get them printed out.
Yeah, but what I was talking about, you know how the silk screen look? It's like the T-shirt that you have on now.
Right.
That's a silk screen. That's like it's in the material. The other ones
Yeah.
are like they just press it on, and
That's
Oh,
what
okay.
sometimes it just look. It don't look like it looks like it's cheaply made sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mr.
but this
Him.
this Versace.
You
Coming
say,
in hot.
man, you say,
Yeah,
man, what? Hey, man, I ain't printed on. I this Versace.
for real.
What's
Man,
going on, bro?
well,
Doing great.
welcome, man, to another edition of the Elite Mancast, man. Every Wednesday, man, y'all tune in and tell a friend. 8:30. 8:30 is the time. We over there on YouTube, man. Y'all know what we doing. Enjoying life. And
Okay.
tonight, man, we got a topic for you. Gonna make you understand yourself, man. Talking about shadow work, the thing that really creates awareness and creates you a new life because of that old programming you just don't want to get rid of. Now we got something new for you. It's called shadow work.
Mm,
You did.
You did.
yeah, it'll
But yeah,
work.
man, y'all know we got the panel. We got Mr. Michael and we got Mr. Him in the building.
You know,
Just like that. Mr. Him, what you got for us on this shadow work, man?
shadow work, one of my favorite topics, amongst others. But you know, I like to focus on it because of shadow work. That's what allowed me to become Mr. Him. You feel me? So it's like I've done the work, I've done the research, and it just it keeps going higher. Let me take this off. You can never stop learning. You can never
Yeah,
stop
right.
learning about yourself. I mean, Mike,
Hmm.
you're a prime suspect for that because the older you get, the more bones you hurt. I mean, you're always learning something, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
where new pain is located.
yeah, like
Yeah,
new trigger responses, repressed emotions, childhood conditioning, relationship boundaries, and the list can go on and on. But you know, what emotion do you consider weak to show? Something similar to
mm,
that. They people say that men shouldn't cry. Grown men don't cry, but they do. I went a long time without
Hmm.
shedding a tear, and once I went to therapy, realized what was going on, so it allowed those past childhood traumas to just it's like once you speak about it, I mean, either verbally or meditate on it, it's like it frees you. So just
yeah.
Right.
doing the shadow work. Even when it comes to forgiveness, you don't forgive other people for them. You forgive them for yourself. All that
That's
is
right.
considered
Hmm.
shadow work. So
Hmm.
what you got, Mike?
Wow, you starting off with a bang today.
It's the
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah, when it comes to the shadows, everybody got their ideas about the shadows, and everything is like evil lurks in the shadows. The thing is, those dark responses or those different aspects of your life, the thing that you try to suppress, they are in the shadows. Problem is, most of the time we try to not really run from them, but we try to avoid those things, not pay attention to them, push them to the side because we don't want to be bothered with them. And the thing is awareness. And it's like everything we talk about, it all boils down to awareness. You have to be aware of those things that happen in the shadows because the things that are in the shadows are what's going to help you grow. And I actually saw this thing yesterday. I was watching, it was talking about a tree. It would have been perfect for the self tree, but it actually pertains here as well because
Yeah.
it says that a tree grows in two directions at the same time. And when the seed first, when it's planted, it starts growing down, and that's where all the resistance is, the dirt. It has to push through the soil, and it spreads out just like the branches. But once it starts to take root, then it starts reaching up toward the light. So all those things that we bury are all there. That's the resistance that we've been going through throughout our entire lives, from our childhood until today. And some of the things we buried so deep that we don't even realize that they are actually there. But the thing is, once you suppress or push to the side, it doesn't just disappear. And those things will cause you to react in certain ways, and you'll be, once you saw somebody might bring up the, why you always act like this? Why you always do this? And when you
Mhm.
think about it, sometimes it's like, wow, I didn't even realize. But now you start doing the shadow work, going back, taking a look, and questioning, why am I doing this? What's going on here? Then you start to see little patterns of things that happened way back in your childhood. And a lot of times you're going to need a therapist to help bring that out of you,
Mhm.
because some people, they bury it so deep that it's like it's completely forgotten, but it's forgotten to your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind hasn't forgotten anything. And when you have those little times when you fly off and you don't even know why, that's basically why. It's things that have happened or things that you suppress are coming
Mhm.
back.
You're right. I just want to follow up with that. The shadow contains parts of yourself that you reject, hiding, unacceptable. When you ignore or repress these pieces, you accidentally give them a dark environment to grow unchecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's when
and
the
it's
evil really
always
does lurk in the dark.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it's always good to explore, man. It's like we used to look at that show called Fraggle Rock, man, where you
Yeah.
had Uncle Explorer. You know what I'm saying? And he goes out to get the information and come back and bring it to the family. So it's just like what you're doing for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You go back down memory lane of all the hurt, all the pain, all the things that you were taught the wrong way, and you start to evaluate. You start to eliminate what's not healthy. You start to reject, and you start to transform these habits into places, into things that you want to see for your future. It's like I was listening to Joe Dispenza to this rising, and it was like you have to rehearse your future. It's like we rehearse the play, we rehearse these rhymes, we rehearse the football plays, whatever stuff like that. You rehearse your
Mhm.
future, and that's not faking it until you making it. That's just practicing what you want to see yourself as in the future, you know,
Right.
Right.
or the future that you really want to have.
Yeah. Pretty much
That's
calling
it.
it into existence. I mean, I like that term or that phrasing, but calling it to existence because it already exists. I mean, you're just preparing yourself
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're aligning
Exactly.
yourself with it,
Yeah.
getting on that frequency that you can receive it.
Hmm. Because I mean, what I really enjoy about it, like you can go about life, you can go and do this, go and do that. Even if you try something new, and it's like you just roll with it, like damn, you find yourself asking yourself, like, damn, like why am I so good at it? It's like it just happens. So
Yep. No,
Natural
and
ability.
that's it. Yeah, that's an everyday thing too, man. Once you start, it's like
mhm,
Dick Gregory say, once you put the glasses on, you can't unsee it. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't want to either because it makes you better. It may be uncomfortable in the beginning because it's something that you haven't never did,
yeah,
Right.
but it's definitely worth the work.
oh yeah,
Yeah. But
oh
that's
yeah,
where the growth lies, is in the shadow.
hmm
And
Yeah,
that's the most uncomfortable place to be. People who are afraid of the dark, well, when you start dealing with your shadow, a lot of people, that's where you really start facing fears, because you start seeing things in yourself that you probably didn't even know was there.
yeah.
a
I
lot
also
of
Sometimes
think
people
that'll
some of
can't.
bring
those
it more.
people, people that are afraid of the dark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
Right.
I get up out of bed, and I mean, it's like as soon as you put the light off, it's like you're. As soon as you got the lights off, it's like everything is just pitch black, and then all of a sudden you
Yep.
start to be able to like see. So I mean, I get up,
Hmm.
walk through the house in the dark. Like I don't need light.
Yeah,
Right. Your eyes will adjust to whatever
that's
light is
right.
available.
Mhm.
That's right.
It's like when you
Yeah.
walk into
So,
a movie theater, you walk in, as soon as you walk through those curtains, all of a sudden it's just solid black. Sometimes you
Yeah,
can't even
Mike.
see the
Say,
screen
Mike.
yet.
They don't have curtains no more, Mike. That was back.
I
Oh
had to
man.
think. I'm like, they have curtains. I
You
go to
ain't
the
been to the
movies now.
movies in a
Oh
while, brother. Yeah,
shoot.
you talking about
Curtains.
back in the 70s. Mike
That's
went
true, man.
back
Damn.
on. Mike
Way
went back
back.
in the. Yeah, they don't have the curtain no
Mm.
more, Mike. It's over with. The
I
curtain
was
is
thinking
over with,
about the
man.
shadows.
Hey, that's all y'all got out of that was the curtain.
Yeah.
I remember the curtain. We used to have to walk through the curtain to get to the
Woo.
Yeah.
front, to get to your
Yeah. As
seat.
soon as you
Yeah.
open it, you can't see nothing. Then all of a sudden your eyes adjust. Yeah.
Well, you can tell you ain't
Damn.
been to the movies in a while.
For real,
You
man.
know they have doors now. You just pull a handle. The curtains.
Oh shit.
Man, I
Man,
tell you
man.
what, I got some
Talk
benefits,
about
man.
telling your age.
I wrote down some benefits of shadow work. So the greater self,
Mm-hmm.
and it always comes down to awareness, man.
Yep.
Awareness and authenticity. You know, I was listening to this young man speak about our what is the greatest form of expression to come out of our bodies, and it was authenticity. People think love was the greatest expression, but it's authenticity. So if you
Mm-hmm.
remain the most authentic part of yourself that you can, you will definitely show the world that that you're not one to be played with, one not to be claimed to in the incorrect way. But so many times we lie to ourselves, we deny our truth. You know what I'm saying? So we don't even see that part of ourselves. But yeah, so one of the first benefit was shadow work was self greater self awareness and authenticity. And then the second one is what I really love, better emotional regulations, less triggered
Mm-hmm.
by others. Better when you regulate your emotions, man, nobody can get to you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we talked about last week, talking about emotional
Yep.
intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So healing from past wounds and trauma. A lot of people thinking that, oh man, that don't bother me no more. Whole time, that is the reason you're acting the way you act. That's the reason you act out on
Mm-hmm.
certain things. Because you haven't healed from that past trauma, you still mad at your mama. You still, you ain't mad at her, but man, you'll have a comment. People start talking about people's mothers, and then the first thing you say, yeah, my mama, man, she was shit to me. It's like, whoa, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Something you got to get past that. You know what I'm saying? You got to get over that part of the game and forgive her for what she only knew to do at that point in her life. That's where she was at in her life, or your father. He wasn't never there. He ain't show me nothing. He didn't do this. Whole time, that's all his father showed him. So it was a recycling benefit. I mean, a recycling gene that we all sometimes we grasp onto because that's what we know. This is your
Yep.
parent trying to explain something to you, and that's all they know it from the parent who explained it to them. So we have to heal from those wounds, man. And then you got to build a strong relationship since you project less unto others. Stronger relationships will have you thinking more about people. You know what I'm saying? Giving more
Right.
love about to people, even if they done did you wrong. You just have to know where to place them at. You have to know where to position people at once you've seen their true side. Now, if their true side is not going to be healthy for you in your future, you just get rid of them altogether. You know what I'm saying? But if you see potential in somebody and you like, hey, you know what? You're not a bad person, but I just got to place you over here. I'm not gonna be. It's like if you see a female that you was having sex with all the time, but you realize she's not part of your future. You say, hey, we can be cool if you up to that, but we're not having sex no more. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I can't put this back in you because hey, you're not part of the future. You know what I'm saying? So building strong relationships, and then the best thing, what we're talking about right now, personal growth, deeper sense of wholeness. People always used to say back in the day, oh, you complete me. If you wasn't complete before you got with that person, you were the problem. And
Yeah.
you would always hear somebody say, oh, I need you. No, if you need me, I don't want you.
I just want
Right.
to peel back the curtains on that last part that you said.
Yeah.
You know, you know, breaking it off with somebody is like I can't be with you no more because like you're not a part of my future. But breakup sex was the best. I'm just putting it out there like shit. Damn. I'm not
I'm gonna
missing
go
you.
and
I'm gonna
get you
miss
one more.
this.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock you down one more time, but I'm
One more
gonna have
time.
to leave you alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for your
Mm-mm.
own good.
Yeah, man. Let me go fix this up, man. Hold
So,
on.
but no,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say even like certain steps. You ever just like write yourself a letter or like write all your feelings down? I
Mm.
know it's a practice that some people do. I mean, I tried it before and it actually worked. But it's like just write down how you're feeling. If you ever kept the journal, write down how
Hmm.
you're feeling. Let it be raw. Like don't cut anything out. From there, you go back and you reread it, and then you find the root of like why am I feeling this way.
Hmm.
It's like it allows you to like dig deeper, and then you just go ahead and release the judgment, meaning acknowledge these shadow traits and develop a new protection plan on how to protect yourself from feeling this way. Because I was really big on writing, and it's like damn,
Yeah,
I went back and read some of the stuff. I'm like, damn, what happened? I mean, even years later, it's like, damn, I know why I said that because I remember what I was going through, what I was doing. But it's like a healing journey, if you would.
Right,
right.
right. And that's probably why they
No,
always say pretty much anything we talked about. They always say one of the best ways to get through it is the journal.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah,
always
man.
talk about it. Journal it,
That's
write
how
it
you.
down.
That's how you. That's how you find yourself, man. Because you'll go back and look at some of the stuff you wrote down, and you like, damn, bro, I was going through that at that time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even think journaling is good because they have never tried it or it ain't worked for somebody. You know how so many times people are friends with people and then, oh man, journaling worked for me. And then that just puts a trigger in your mind because you're not a leader, you're a follower. You'll say, oh yeah, it didn't work for me either. Whole time you never really
Mm,
tried it.
Right.
right, right.
And that's the part about, like my people always tell me, everybody needs, everybody can't be a boss. Everybody can't be a leader. You got to have some followers somewhere. So you don't try to make them, mold them into a position that they're not ready for. They don't have the capacity to lead anything. So you don't ever
Yeah.
try to put, oh, that's because that's your friend, because that's your party friend. So like I was saying a while ago, we got to start placing people where if you just like to party, you my party friend. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna call you for some intellectual stuff because you're not an intellectual person like that.
Right.
I'm gonna call
Right.
you, but when I want to turn up, I know who to call.
Hmm.
So we have to start. That's where shadow work will help you too, because a lot of times now you got this party friend giving you advice on some intellectual stuff, and you like, yeah, good, that do sound right. And the whole time it's like, nah,
Hmm.
y'all drinking and talking about it. Become sober
Right.
first, and then have this conversation so you can have a logical mindset coming at you.
Right. She need a clear mind. And it's
That
amazing
part
because a
right
lot
there.
of people think when they smoking, they getting high and they sound real intelligent, but actually they don't. It's some of the craziest stuff that come out, but because you have right along with them, you're like, oh man, yeah, I never thought about that
It's
Yeah.
like,
because it ain't
man,
make no sense in the first place.
it's like, man, me tell you like this, man. Say, man, I can't sit on the love seat because I ain't in love.
Right.
Yep. Then motherfuckers agreeing like, yeah, man, that's deep. No,
them,
the fuck.
them dudes right there, huh? Yeah,
Yep.
they got all the sense in the world when they get out.
Hmm.
Yeah. But when you sober, you can't even get a coherent thought to come out of
That part right there.
them.
But yeah, man, that journaling and then self reflection questions.
Hmm.
You got to ask yourself them what qualities in others annoy me the most, and then
Hmm.
you have
Do
to
I
put
do
on
it?
there why. You know,
Yeah.
it's like what does my mate always do that I don't like? write it down, and address it later on.
Right.
As long as
These
the
are
answer is wake up. What is
Hey, it gets like that in relationships sometimes. They be looking at you like, I don't even like the way you breathe.
do something about it? Yeah.
it's like, man, we have to really evaluate the people we say that we love and we want to be with forever. It's like you got to really, hey man, how was your mother or how was your father when things didn't go right for you? How did you treat them or did you forgive? Did y'all talk about forgiveness? Because some of the parents, we gotta heal our children before they get into the world. Because if we just
Hmm.
I beat your ass and then you go in there and sit down, now they traumatized from that. But
Mhm.
like I used to, my daughters when I used to give them whooping when they was little, I used to be like, hey, do you know why you got a whooping? Yeah. Okay. Well, tell me why you got to whoop. Because you told me not to do this and I did. Okay, then. So you know not to do that next time. Okay. No, I won't do it next time. So that way, right there, that gives them the mindset of knowing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of kids get a whooping and act like they don't know why they got a whooping. You just hate me.
Right.
That's why you whoop me. You hate me because you don't like me. Like, nah. And then a parent who's not and tuned with themselves, they'll be like, just take your ass there and sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the kid is just like traumatized from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And a lot of
But
times when you go visit,
I knew why
go
I was
ahead.
getting whipped though. I knew why I was getting whipped.
Mhm.
Yeah, you done
Yep.
stole my truck. Yeah, I steal my stepdad's truck and everything. Yeah, they tell me I'm on punishment. I go outside and hide in trees and everything. Man, I ain't going in the house.
Well,
I already knew. That's why I tell you, boy. Hey, man, if I did the crime, man, they ain't gonna hear me saying nothing. Hey, what y'all giving? Yeah, I take that.
mm,
Yeah.
I think I was getting shadow work the whole time when I was growing up, man. But definitely,
yeah.
we have to
You,
do more self-reflecting, man. Self-reflecting instead of remembering will always get us closer
yeah.
to the goal of being a better version of ourselves.
Yeah.
True.
I appreciate it now
You
because
know.
had I not done any shadow work, I would have probably ended up in somebody's prepaid Airbnb. Yeah. I would have been in there.
You've been it
If you
down.
know what that is, Mike, it's another word for prison. A prepaid Airbnb. Yeah. I
Mm,
would have been in somebody's just
I'm glad you explained that shit.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Prepaid
Mm,
Airbnbs are not healthy for nobody. But
Nah.
they did
mm-mm.
teach me though. They taught me well, my mama taught me. And these young boys taught me. My mama taught me because she divorced me while I was in prison the last time. And then when the young
Mm,
boys started calling me Unc, I say, oh no, I can't go back in there.
Yeah.
I'm Unc now. I used to be talking about hey, school, check this out, school. Now they calling me Unc. I say, oh yeah, no, man, this ain't for me no more. Now this I
mm,
can see the cycle. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like I can see the cycle about to happen. Let me break that cycle right now. So
Yeah.
that I'm not the one in here trying to give advice to every young cat, going to the law library every
Right.
week trying to show somebody how to get out and I can't get myself out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely not. And just like we talking about now, we got to inner child work. We got to revisit them unmet childhood traumas or them unmet childhood needs. To where it's like, oh, daddy didn't come get me enough, or moms didn't buy me enough, or and it's like we sometimes we hold on to that type of stuff, man,
Mhm.
way
Yeah.
longer than we
True.
should. When you meet these revisit rather, I'm gonna say you revisit them unmet childhood needs and you talk to yourself about and you forgive your childhood self, you know what I'm saying? You forgive your younger self for even allowing that to be disturbing to you or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? So when we doing
Right.
shadow work, man, we do have to sit down with ourselves, write these journals, um, bring about some unwanted thoughts that's really gonna make us better people. Because we can't take these relationships, we can't drag that person back into this next relationship and then steady ask him why there aren't any good people out here, men or
Right.
women. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's because you haven't addressed something that you should address,
Mhm.
or why I can't come up because you're still remaining in that same mind frame and that framework that you're doing is what you started with. That's not you should not be still on the same. It's like we used to say back in the day, man. If you still selling weed and you supposed to elevate up the coke, you
Hmm.
can't be in the same spot if you selling drugs. I've been selling dimes all my life. You ain't no drug dealer. You just in the way.
Hmm. It's holding somebody's spot. That's it.
That's it, man. That's it. But those are some things, man. Once we realize that inner child, man, that inner child, bruh, it's just like that's why you see a lot of adults who are not emotionally resilient,
Hmm.
emotional regulationists. They not doing it. They don't even check their emotions. They always blame somebody else for their emotions. You made me do this. You made me do that. And all I do is like this right here. I have no guns to make you do anything. If you
Right.
do anything, it's all your choice, your decision. A
That's
man
it.
cannot make a woman do
Always.
anything, vice versa. A woman can't make a man do anything. It's all about your choices and your decisions.
But that's the
Now,
thing. People
if
like to shift.
right,
Mhm.
if that person triggers you, that's something that goes back into emotional intelligence. You should not allow
Right.
someone else's words or actions get you off of your pivot to where you're going. That's why you have to find people in alignment. These words we speaking now or things that we weren't taught growing up. You know what I'm saying? But it's like
Right.
with age comes experience. It should come with good experience and bad experience, but you should have more good experiences as far as conversations with intellectual people instead of people who are just random, who are just average, who are just, who don't really see themselves going anywhere.
Right.
But that's where a lot of problems begin because of the environment. Because if you look like if you're in a relationship with somebody, if you meet the family, once you meet the family, you start to see how they interact with each other. Then you can see where a lot of those
Yeah.
things come from, why the relationship is going, it's taking a turn at a certain point, or why they're getting triggered. Because
Yeah.
it's basically just people are doing they're they've been conditioned to do these things because that's all they've ever known. They
And
haven't
then don't
taken that
nobody tell
time
them,
to
and
grow.
don't nobody check them either
Right. Because don't nobody else know. You never know until you get out of your comfort zone and away from the people that you're
until you
usually
get away
around.
from your yeah, until you get out of your cage. Because
Yep.
sometimes you don't have a circle, you have a cage. And all
Yep.
of y'all thinking the same way. All of y'all are doing the same things.
Exactly.
All of y'all are, so you don't see the toxic ways that you may be
Exactly.
behaving. Yeah, your toxicity level is so high to where everybody's toxic. Everybody argues, everybody talks loud, everybody just go back and forth
Yep.
about nothing.
Yep.
Anytime somebody come to me now with any type of debate, I say Google it. I'm not going to
Mm.
debate with you. Google it. I got a homegirl from Puerto Rico. She used to always, because when I first met her, this was before I was even doing shadow work and self development, any of this. I was, man, you don't know. She said, man, just Google it. I'm not finna go back and forth with you, dude. Just Google it. I'd be like, you know what? You show me. Let me get my phone in my hand all day, and
Yep.
I'm up here, I'm
I didn't even
debating with
think about it.
somebody. Yeah, we use these devices for the wrong things, man. You know.
It's
But
true.
yeah, a lot of mindfulness and meditation is very necessary. Observing thoughts without judgment, and a lot of people go through life because we was raised in these neighborhoods where we judged everybody. You know, you had the lady at the store down the street. I mean, the lady at the house down the street. She judging. Oh, look, here come them hoodlums, or here come them thugs, or look at this skank. You know, she always has something to say about somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And then you
Yep.
got the dude who's just like his mama. You know, he's always complaining, you know, he's always whining. It's like, bro, you a man. You got to stop all that. Nah, dog, I'm just saying, though. Nah, well, don't
You think
say,
about it in
Mm,
sir. I'm asking you not to say.
yeah.
right.
I'm just saying, this ain't right and that ain't right. And it's like, the whole time, bro, you should really think about what you're doing because you're not elevating yourself. You're not helping yourself. You're not putting yourself in a
Right.
better position by complaining. You're just keeping that vibration low. What's not going your way, what's not right about certain situations. If you don't like a certain situation, you need to figure out the rules
Change it.
and then try to change it within the system. And you can't change it outside of the system. You got to get in there in the middle and change anything that you want to change. You got to go within to change any system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um,
That's the uncomfortable spot.
ain't it though?
Yeah. But people want to change. They talk about they want to change, but you can
But
tell who
don't want
wants to because they actually do something. Those that
to.
just
Yeah,
talk about it, they'll be talking about the same thing 5, 6 years from now, saying the
yeah,
same thing they were saying back then, but they ain't took a step to change nothing.
yeah, yeah. And you know, a lot of people love that comfortable spot, man. You know what I'm saying? They love being comfortable. You reading a new book, they might read some books about the life that they used to live. You know what I'm saying? You got certain
Right.
people that say, man, I read this book today, man. It was about, you know, it was a drug dealer's wife. I read this book about the hoes and the pimps. Like, bro, that life is already what you've already lived. You've experienced that. So why continue to read those, reiterate that same lifestyle? Read a book that's
Right.
going to influence you and enlighten you and give you a better awareness of where you're going and where this world is going because this world changes every 5 minutes. The thing about what
Mhm.
I hate about with this school system, they still got the desk and the teacher in the front. You know what I'm saying? The same structure of school system since the Rockefeller started it. It's the same way
Mhm.
it is today.
Mm,
It's nothing different. We got a
The pay the
curriculum that we're
bills.
going to give y'all. You know, teachers are not even allowed to change the curriculum now. You
That's
got to
sad.
implement it into certain ways to where it doesn't affect to what they're told you to teach. That's like if we look at the news channels, you know what I'm saying? All of them are playing,
Mhm.
replaying the same thing. They're
yeah.
Saying
saying
the
the
exact
same
same
exact
words.
thing. They're saying the same
Mhm.
exact words. So it's like we have to go within these systems and start regulating if we want to see change within these systems. But other than that, it's the same way with yourself. If you want to see a different you, if you want to see better results, you got to go within you and start looking in the mirror and start talking to that person and start getting that person uncomfortable because we get
Mhm.
so in that comfort zone to where it's like, man, I'm good. Yeah, I'm making some bread. I got this. I got, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, because you done bought 2 new cars. That does not make you a better person,
Yeah.
you know? But that goes back into meditation and mindfulness, too.
Yeah. So it's just self development in general. Once you take that step, it's like you can't go back. It's like automatic, or you start reading more, you start doing more, putting things into practice, talking to different people, getting out of your
Hmm.
comfort zone, getting out of your
Right.
environment. It's the only
Right.
way you're going to change. Because it's like
Yeah.
insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over, but expecting a different
Expecting.
result. You ain't never going to get it. If you ain't
You know,
changed nothing, you ain't never going to get it.
and you know the delusion level has went up in this city. I mean, in this world, the delusion,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
crazy. Yeah, there's so much delusion out here, man. It don't even make sense because people don't have that creative mindset no more. Everybody's off into follow mode.
Yeah.
That's why when you say following, well, how many followers I got, it don't even matter because they won't follow you off of the social media page.
Right.
So,
Yeah, they won't follow you past go on the Monopoly board.
Mm-mm.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
sad. It's true.
because there's no substance in a lot of us out here in this world, man. And it's like listening to these songs. You don't hear nothing about educating somebody or putting somebody, telling the whole truth. It's like Ice Cube used to make music to where he would let you know, yeah, man, the cops locked us up. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, it started like this, but then it ended up like this. So I'm in a bad situation, like once upon a time in the project, because he went to visit a chick, and all of a sudden he in the paddy wagon because he got a warrant from.
Yeah.
Like, man, you got stuff like that, man. It's like we have to realize that a lot of times digging within ourselves is going to get us to a better position, man. That's all I can say to that.
That's it.
Without shadow work, man, you're gonna be the same person that you've been. Without shadow work, you're gonna keep meeting the same people that you've been meeting. So you can keep on saying it ain't no good this or no good that. Without shadow work, you're gonna stay on that same diet, or yeah, I'm gonna call it a diet because it ain't a living. You're gonna stay on that same diet of intaking bad information, intaking bad foods, intaking bad people. That shadow work is needed, man, in all aspects of life. Yeah, and therapy and coaching.
Yeah.
I know people say, "Oh man, I don't need no therapy. I don't need therapy," but really, we do.
Yeah. I don't know why they
You
tend to
know,
feel that going to therapy is something like that's something that women do. Like, no, because ultimately, you have to answer to somebody.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if you can't gather the answer, I mean, even through meditation, I mean, it's always better to get a second opinion. Yeah, but therapy, that's because I was one of those believers about, man, therapy. I
hmm
don't need it. Like, yes, you do, because you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. So it's like, okay, cool. I mean, just get to the bottom of it. Don't be afraid to ask. There's no such thing as like the wrong question.
Right.
So,
no, not at all.
It's just
right.
the
And
one
you
that
have to
you
ask
want.
yourself certain questions, man. Like, okay, I got some questions right here. What does it? They say, when do I feel most jealous?
Hmm.
When do I feel most judgmental? And then you say, and what does that reveal about me? That's life coaching class. This is a life coaching. When you're doing shadow work, you're doing life coaching.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, life coaching is not giving advice. Life coaching is asking questions um, that you really need to know the answer to. But as a coach, I couldn't give you the advice, or I can't answer the question for you. I'm gonna say stuff like, okay, what makes you feel like that? Or how does that feel to you? Or how does that look to you? You know, you have to ask
Definitely.
yourself the questions. It may sound crazy, but people always talking about, oh man, you talking to yourself. Yeah, because I'm the CEO of my life. Who else I'm gonna talk to?
Right.
Right.
I
You're
like that
having
hat, Mike.
intelligent
I don't know.
conversation.
That hat is in my hat is in the storage, but yeah, Mike gave me a hat, the CEO.
The CEO, yeah. Man, that was way back 4 years ago.
That was. I
Before
still
we
got
even
that hat
started the
though.
show. Wow. Nice.
I still got the hat. Yeah, yeah, but we have to ask these kind of questions, man. Like, it's like
Let's
if for
see.
those who don't, always look up life coaching. See what a life coaching session looks like, and that way you can get yourself into a better understanding of what it is that you're really trying to do.
Yeah.
Hmm. But this to me is the same. Like the life coaching, the psychiatrists, the therapists, they're basically doing the same things, and that's
Yeah,
just leading you to find the answer for yourself.
that's it.
That's all they're doing.
That's
So if
all.
you ask yourself these same questions, what am I afraid people will discover about me? What am I afraid of, period? Or what emotions do I avoid feeling? Any of
Right.
these things, if you ask these questions, you're going to come to the same conclusion that you would sitting across from a therapist,
Yeah,
but you save
that
yourself a
part.
lot of money.
That part.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
me,
man.
I've never been big on therapists. Like I told you, I used to have to go see a psychiatrist when we come off of mission. We have to go talk to him about how we feeling. And it's like, what are you going to tell me that I can't figure out for myself? I mean, I figure I'm an intelligent person. So if you can ask me the question, I can ask myself the same question
Well,
and come to the
that's the whole
conclusion.
point. That's the whole point about therapy. A lot of people will say what you're saying right now, but they won't do it because
Yeah, that's
life is
true.
always lifing. Life is always
Mhm.
busy, got you busy. So you can't pull yourself away from life long enough to ask yourself them questions.
True.
So that's why we set the sessions up on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis so that
Hmm.
you can, this is the reasoning that I need to go to therapy this week because I'm so busy. I'm always going. I'm always moving. So I need
Yeah.
to, and then a therapist, they're not going to ever give you advice. That's not their
Right.
job. Their job is to pull the information and allow you to answer your
Mhm.
own questions. And they're gonna take notes of it. You're gonna be like, well, what they write down? Why did they write something on that? Because they're gonna revisit it the next session.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's where the therapy comes in. That because now you've identified the ish situation, and then now they can write down, okay, well, last week you said you was going to take care of X, Y, and Z. Did you do any of that?
Hmm.
But did that, or is that still, lingering in the air? So it's like, what part of myself do I hide from others that I may feel that I'm judged on? It's like you'll see
Hmm.
people, oh man, I can't eat in, I've heard a woman say, I can't eat in front of a man. I'm like,
Wow.
huh? Well, how you gonna go out to dinner date and stuff like that? Oh no, I just go out to drink with them. That was when I was younger, but I didn't understand it back then.
Mhm.
But it was just like stuff, you have so many people that do stuff like that, man. They don't know, it's like they hiding stuff because they don't want to be judged. Because it's so many judgment that, it might be judgment in their own home. So they may hide the fact that, passing gas. I don't pass gas in front of my. I've heard women say that I don't pass gas in front of a man, or
Yeah,
I don't
I
do
hear
this
you.
in front of a man. And it's like that's a natural thing. You gonna have a heart attack if you keep that
Yep.
gas.
Plus, if you had a thought,
Yeah, you gonna hurt yourself, but you see people doing that so much, that's part of the shadow work. You should ask yourself, what am I hiding from people that I feel that I will be judged or I think that I'll be judged on. And you come up with these answers that's really revealing you.
yeah,
And you
exactly.
write it back, and then we goes back to journaling. So you write that down in your journal X, Y, and Z. This is why I don't do such and such because I feel that I'm being judged when I do this. And then that's when you
You froze.
start, me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Go ahead. But you froze for a
Oh,
second.
okay, okay. Yeah. But so that's what we do. We write it down and then that's what a therapist does. You know what I'm saying? You ask yourself these
Hmm.
questions and then write down the meaning or the terms or the logic of it, and then that's when you come back a week later or 2 weeks later, whatever, and you try to see if you changed any of those behaviors.
Yeah.
Right.
I've learned that
You know,
therapists are just professional listeners.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's all they do. And
Yep.
then they just, ask the right question. Okay, well, since you feel like that, how do you feel like do you can change that feeling,
Yeah,
or do you think that you can change that feeling? It's like I don't know such and such, because it's been a long time and they just ain't helped me, or that just makes me feel I don't want to feel like that. It's like, well, if you don't want to feel like that, what are the ways that you can go about changing? What do you think is things that you can do to change so you can feel better about feeling that way? And that's all it is in life coaching class and and therapy sessions, man.
Yeah.
It's like you just ask those questions repeatedly. You ask more, you break it down, you ask more questions, and that's what shadow work is. You just asking yourself, you revealing your old self, or you revealing your comfortable self, and you
Right.
putting yourself in a very uncomfortable position so that you can do better, feel better, dream
Growth.
better, dream bigger. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
yeah. Um, ego says, no, Mike, ego isn't a person. The
yeah.
ego. Ego says, once everything falls into place, I'll feel peace. But the spirit says, find your peace and everything will fall into place.
Yep. Yeah. That sounds
Real.
like a fortune cookie, but it's true.
Nah, that's Buddha. Don't trip.
It
Yeah.
was Buddha.
Find your peace first. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's just like I was saying earlier, people talking about you complete me, and it's like, no, you need to be complete before you get here,
Exactly.
because I can't complete you, because you are you and I am me, and
Yeah.
nobody
Because that's
knows me better than me. You know, I hear people out, oh, I know you. No, you knew that version of me at that point in my life. Today,
no
I'm not that
doubt.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
today I'm not that person because I've corrected a habit. I've changed a pattern that I used to do, always do, and you find yourself, people thinking I remember. Yeah, you remember, but you don't see me right now.
Right.
Hmm.
Because you don't have the capacity to see something different. You don't have the capacity to see a different version of a person because you see them holding a bottle of wine, or you see them holding a beer, or you see them smoking a joint. Oh, they just the same person.
Hmm.
Now they may be the same. That part of them may be the same, but their thought process on revealing the truth may be different, or what triggers them may
Right.
be different. You know, not going to be the same person because
Right.
it's going to be different. Other habits may have changed. Those habits haven't, but these other ones have.
Mhm.
In the past, you might could have played with me a little bit longer. You could have went, did your thing and came back, and I would have spun the block with you. But nowadays, it's
Hmm.
like the block can't get spun no more. We out of rounds around here.
Right.
Yeah.
Ain't no more block spinning. Yeah, you can't come back this way. And like my mom used to say, hey, you ain't gonna be going in and out this door. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna stay in or you're gonna stay out.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
you let
Heard
my
that.
good cold air up out of here, man.
Yeah. Like today, the old me could have came out when this young lady, I mean, she she big anyways. She made a comment. She was like, "Oh, Chef Allen, well, your chef coat, if it's fit, like you don't think it's kind of tight?" And she did like, I said, "No, it's not tight." I said, "It's tailored. The only difference between you and I is I don't have to suck in my stomach to put my jacket on." And I was just being honest with her because I mean she wide, but don't come for me because I get my chef coats tailored so they look
Yeah,
perfect on me.
boy.
But the old
Yeah,
me was
boy.
just went round for round with her. But I said that
Yeah.
we laughed about it. She probably cried later, but whatever. But still,
Hmm.
I'm doing better.
You
She
hear
did it
me?
to herself.
Yeah,
Because nobody else will
yeah,
do her
man.
because she's nasty.
And
She
a
thought she
lot
was
of
going.
stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
Huh?
when it
You
comes
thought
to the
you was gonna
shadow
get
work,
triggered. Go ahead, Mike.
there's a lot of stuff that happens when it comes down to the shadow work. It's just people taking responsibility for themselves and their actions. Because a lot of times people are like, oh, when you say, well, you complete me, they're looking for somebody outside of themselves. They don't want to take responsibility for anything. Like it's not my place to be happy. You the one that caused me to be mad. You the one that did this. It's like, no, it's all you. You
Yeah,
ain't going to be happy if you don't want to be happy. You can be
No,
miserable by yourself, and
no,
ain't
for
nothing
real.
nobody else can do going to change that.
That's for real. No doubt.
And
No
definitely take
diggity.
responsibility. Yeah,
Yeah, that part right there. Man, it's so much that we can get off into with this, boy. I got these ask what part of me is being reflected back. You know, what does this say about something I suppressed in myself? It's like you got so many questions you can ask yourself, and you can put yourself in a position of being being a greater version, and getting more profit in your life. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
people don't realize rehearsing your future is not, it's not a crazy thing. It's a beautiful thing because I can see my future. If I can see it, it can happen. You know,
hmm
we see it twice in life. It's always a duplicate because first it's in your mind and then it's in the paper. And it's in reality. You know what I'm saying? You create it in your mind, and then you expressed it out. Even if it's physical or on paper, you still had to create it in your head first.
right.
And a lot of times we don't realize that. Take take some deep breaths before you answer. Take some deep breaths before you give somebody your opinion, because that's all you're doing. Is if you're talking to somebody else about what they should do, it's your opinion. It's not the truth for them.
Right.
It's not their truth. You know,
yeah,
that's when we become better. Not bitter. We become better because we look within and we talk to ourselves before. It's like I think that was Farrakhan say, or Nuri Muhammad, or either Farrakhan say, think about the question 5 times before you ask it.
Before you answer.
No, before you ask. If you ask somebody a
Oh,
question, you think about that question 5 times.
gotcha.
That's like people always feel like I gotta say something right after they say something. If they ask me a question, I'm gonna say this. It's like a lot of people talk to respond instead of to digest, instead of give a
Mm,
real solid
to
answer.
understand. Right.
Yeah, you can't. It's like a lot of times, oh, I know what you was gonna say, but you
yeah,
knew what I was gonna say, and you still answered it wrong, or it wasn't wrong. It just wasn't what I was looking to hear. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You gave me your version when I wasn't looking for your version.
it's kind of like a multiple choice, a multiple choice question. Like,
Mm.
yeah, because what is it? Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to rap.
Yeah,
Because my answer may not be the one. It might not be the holy answer. So
right,
yeah,
right.
same thing
But
with
that's
questions. I mean, you ask it and then you ask yourself again and again and again. Like, okay, well,
mm,
because I mean, sometimes, well, most of the time, you end up getting a. Most likely, if you're in tune with yourself, you're gonna end up getting the answer while you're asking that question for, like, asking it to yourself.
right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. A lot of folks that will answer their own question before it's like, okay, I see. Oh, my bad. I ain't mean. I
Mm-hmm.
sounded stupid, huh? It's like, nah, you didn't sound stupid. You just was, overzealous about answering some stuff
Yeah.
Right.
that really
That's
could have
it.
just saved you some breath and saved my ears
Mm-hmm.
some nonsense.
We could have got
That's
out of
it.
class 5 minutes early. But
Yeah, we could have been done.
Yep.
But it's like so many people we have to be patient with because we do care about them. You have to be patient with people you care about.
mhm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's a big well you try you do try to be patient with people, but it's like if you can't get it right, I'm not finna even play with
And and then you have those people who's like they ask questions just because they enjoy hearing themselves talk.
you. That
Yeah.
right there.
They
That right there.
they gotta sound intelligent. Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I ask you a question better than anyone I know? Go ahead. It's like, all right.
Mm.
Better than anyone I know. Yeah, go ahead, man. Oh, I'm gonna hear it. What you got to say?
Mhm.
That right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what it is. So what we got, Mike on the go out?
On the go out. Let me see what I got here. Hmm. All right, let's go with the shadow's not your enemy. It's a part of yourself you've left unexplored. The man who faces his shadow gains power over his life. The man who avoids it remains controlled by what he refuses to see.
Mhm.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I just want to say
Yeah.
that I did another good deed today because when this guy was taking his hat off like this, and I mean he just started, but he ended up moving his hairline too because he had like
Oh
that
shit.
spray paint shit. So I'm just
Ah,
saying I did my good deed because I was gonna put him on blast in front of 75 people.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna do it. Not
yeah.
gonna do it. But no,
Wow.
other than that, I just want to say first off, um the bigger the flame, the bigger the shadow. So
Okay.
while people are steadily trying to avoid, doing shadow work, but I also want to say you can either focus on what's wrong or you can focus on what's possible.
Ooh, good
Yeah.
one. All
Yeah. You're right. That's true. So I can say this here: don't try to get rid of your shadow. The goal is integration, making peace with it, and using its lessons for growth.
Mm.
You know.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's
Yeah.
basically, what we got for tonight. And I pray that somebody, really does take this shadow work serious and get in the mirror, man, and start asking yourself them questions that you feel you judged on, um, that you feel that embarrasses you, you know, because
Yeah.
it's never been a wrong question in the world. So, but hey, unless you ask me about my money, then you got a problem. But
And that ain't your business.
And
yeah,
always
yeah.
remember, until you make
But
the
yeah,
unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate.
Mm.
yeah, right there. I like that. Yeah, yeah. And we do have to become more conscious. Like I don't want to get off into the God, but when people keep on talking about when Jesus coming back, it's not Jesus himself. It's that Christ consciousness. It's when you become so aware of who you are and whose you are that you will find yourself going down a different path than your friends and your peers. You will find yourself a new tribe. That's when you come Christ conscious. I mean, that's when the God is coming back. But that's your Christ consciousness, though, man. But hey, man, until next week, we're gonna do it again, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Have a good